Now that SAP have fixed the problems with the user table in SAP Enable Now, I thought it a good opportunity to look at some of the reporting that you can do in Power BI. Now, I have a whole course dedicated to this if you subscribe to my training content, but I just want to look at one page in this, and that is using data endpoints. These are predefined server data endpoints where you can basically use the information provided to link from Power BI to SAP Enable Now. There's a whole bunch of them, as you can see here, with various parameters and other options on there, but I'm just going to look at this one, full user information, just to pull a table of everything to do with every user that's registered in my specific SAP Enable Now instance. The same information is available in the SAP Enable Now Info Center. It's just a bit more nicely presented here. So, under full user information, this is the thing I need. I'm going to build a URL using this information here, where manager URL is the URL of my manager. So I'm going to copy that information here, and I'm going to paste that into Notepad so that I can build out the rest of my URL. And this is going to be my SAP Enable Now instance. So this is the full URL that I need based on the endpoint that's been given to me by SAP and my own instance in here. So I'm going to use this exact information in Power BI. So let's look at how to do that. So I've opened Power BI Desktop on my PC, and I'm going to basically get this data from SAP Enable Now to Power BI. So from here, I'm going to get data from another source, choose Other, then Web, Connect, and this is where I'm going to put my URL. I'm just going to paste it into here. This is the exact URL I just put together and copied. Now, there are other options here under Advanced if you've got parameters and things like that, but we'll look at that in a further video. For now, I'm just going to use this and say, get me whatever information you can find on this URL. So I click OK. And that's going to prompt me for logon information into my SAP Enable Now instance. So I do need what we call a local ID, i.e. an ID with username and password. Single sign-on's not going to work for us here. So I've got my own user ID and password. I'm going to go to Basic, which is where I can specify those things. So now, under select which level to apply these settings to, I can choose to do it to just this particular URL or variations on it. But here I'm just going to say the whole domain. I'll just take I'll use this same information for any queries that hit this same domain. So I've entered that information there, click Connect. And that has gone away and that's pulled that information for me. It says here that it's pulled information using this particular URL. Now I've got that information pulled from SAP Enable Now into Power BI now, but it's not really formatted in a format I can use. So the next few steps are going to pull that information into basically a Power BI table. And this is the tricky part because there's a bunch of steps that you need to carry out in the right order, and it's not really obvious what you need to do. So pay attention to this. This is the results of my query. It's called Query 1 at the moment, and I'm just going to double click to open that. Now, with this here, it shows that I've got a response with a whole bunch of stuff in here. The problem is this has been JSON encoded to allow it to be transferred via a URL request. So I need to basically un-JSON encode that, or JSON decode it, I guess. So I do that on the Transform tab, and I go to Parse and then JSON. I'm saying extract the data from this JSON query result. So select that, and that's done that for me, but we're not done yet. There's a few more steps. That's given me one record. I need to click on this where it says record. That will show me the response record. Again, I click on the word record here, and that gives me this, which now has list in here. So it's got a list of data. Click on list, and that now breaks that out into a whole bunch of individual records, one per user in this particular case. It's still not really in a format I want, but it is broken out by records now. So I need to click to table. It comes up with a dialog box here saying, what do you want to do here? Is there a special delimiter? I leave everything as it is here. No special delimiter, no extra columns. Just click OK. And that has now broken everything out. I click this icon here to expand these into their individual columns. So I do that and it says, okay, I've detected all of these columns in there. Which ones do you want in your table? And I'm just going to leave them all selected because I want all of this information. So I just click OK. And now I have my data table with all of my user information in it. I've masked out a lot of this because there's personal information in there, but you can see the information is being provided here. So one bit of information that everyone's always interested in is when people last logged on. So if I scroll all the way over to the other side here, I can see that I've got a column for last login. So this shows me the last time they logged into my SAP Enable Now instance. So I've got all of this information in here. I've got the user, their name, their roles, the OUs they're assigned to, the last login date, everything else in here. So last thing I want to do is click Close and Apply. This will basically turn it into a table for me that I can use. I don't see anything here because here I'm now ready to drag my information and build stuff out in Power BI. I'm not going to show you how to do all of that, but what I will show you is up here, that's the report view where I would visualize this information. But if I go to the table view here, this is the exact table we were just looking at. So I would probably want to call this something sensible like table. And then I've got that, I can use that in my query. I've got all of the information in here. I can do what I want to with it. So there you go. Very easy way to extract information from SAP Enable Now into Power BI. Okay, hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.